I've recently moved to a new build house, and all the walls, especially on the ground floor anyway, are what are called dot and dab. So it's plasterboard on brickwork, and it looks quite nice in that it's all just plasterboard, so it's quite smooth, but putting anything into it, particularly heavy things and mounting heavy things on the wall, is quite difficult. The wife has decided that she wants this quite heavy mirror putting on the wall here in our lounge, and as it's quite heavy, I was a bit worried what I was going to put it up with, because I didn't want it pulling out the plasterboard, and one of the girls has got their doll's house here and I didn't want it landing on their head. So what's quite fortunate is I've recently been sent some of these fixings. They're called Corix. They're made by a company called Metex, and they're specifically designed for dot and dab walls, and particularly for heavy things. I think plumbers use them quite a lot for mounting things like boilers to dot and dab walls. They're probably a little bit overkill for this mirror. It probably weighs about 15-20 kilos, but nonetheless I'd rather be safe than sorry, so I'm going to give these fixings a go and see how I get on. This is what comes in a pack. There's 4 of these fixings. The way they work is you drill a 10mm hole through the plasterboard and into your brick or block work, through the void between the plasterboard and the block work. You then hammer this in. You take this metal tube and you insert it all the way down to where these shoulders are. I'm not going to put it in now because I won't be able to get it out. And then you put your screw all the way through, and the screw basically binds the fixing in the block work. And I think the theory is that these metal tubes basically stop the fixing compressing and pulling in the plasterboard and basically indenting the plasterboard and making it look a bit naff. So for this mirror I'm going to need to draw 2 10mm holes. It's only block work behind the plasterboard, because it's plasterboard then blocks and then bricks as well. It's got a cavity. So I'm only going to be using a normal drill. I'm not going to need a hammer drill or anything like that. It should be quite easy. So let's see how we get on. This diagram shows kind of the plasterboard, and you have a void, and then your kind of masonry, which is brick or block work. So let's get drilling. I'm just drilling a kind of pilot hole first, just to give myself accuracy, and then I'll enlarge it. Now I've drilled the pilot hole, I'm going to just use this 10mm bit and make sure it's long enough for the actual fixing. I'll probably drill down to about the writing on the bit, because that'll give plenty of depth. As you can see, it was quite easy to drill those holes in the plasterboard and then the block work behind, because it's just breeze block. I didn't even need a hammer drill. I just used my little Bosch driver with a hex bit adapter for the multi-material bits. So nice and easy. If you're drilling into anything more heavy duty like brick etc. you'd need a hammer drill, but it was just fine for that. I'm going to put the fixings in now. Give it a little tap. Not too hard, don't want to crack the plasterboard, I have done that before. And now I'm going to put the little tube in. Give it a tap. There we go. And that should be sufficient to hang the mirror on now. Pretty sturdy. And that's the mirror now mounted on the wall. Hello. Seems nice and sturdy. Yeah, that's not going to come out. So I'm quite impressed with those fixings. I'll put a link to where you can buy them from on Amazon, and also a link to the company's website so you can find out more about them. I think they do a couple of different types. I'll also put what they currently cost in the description because I haven't checked it for a little while. I don't think they're too expensive, but I suppose prices change from time to time. So I'll put that up in the description and I'll put it up on the screen now. That's the end of the video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you didn't mind me using my phone to video it. It just makes it a bit quicker and easier for me. Apologies if the camera work was a little more shaky than normal. It's just after New Year, I probably had a bit too much to drink. Overall, I think these Corix fixings are pretty good. I have to say it's quite ingenious with the little core that goes in. I'll probably use them quite a lot in this house because, as I said, every single wall is dot and dab, and if I've got any heavy duty shelves or anything even remotely heavy to put up, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. So I'll definitely be using them. I'm probably going to mount my flat screen TV on the wall as well, so they'll come in handy for that. For lighter things like just little pictures and things like that, I think you'll be alright with a standard plug or standard plasterboard fixing, but for heavy stuff, definitely worthwhile. Hopefully see you again soon.